Good evening, and first of all, thank you for 5,000 subs. That is a crazy number, and one we hit way earlier than what I had planned for. So I'm sorry if this video is like 2 weeks late, but thank you all for the support. I asked you all for your questions, and some of you sent like 4 or 5, so I have plenty to answer. So I am going to sit here and answer every single one of your questions. Let's get right into it. Also, I'm sorry in advance if I say any of your names wrong. And we're gonna start with Eileen, who has firstly asked if I ever wanted to travel outside of my country. Well, fun fact, this has actually been pre-recorded, and I'm on holiday in Spain right now when this video is out. Look, I don't travel outside of the UK too often, so this is a special occasion, and I'm currently enjoying the sun of Mallorca. What is something you'd like to try at least once? For me, it has to be skydiving. I know jumping out of a perfectly good plane is probably a bad idea, but I still want to give it a go. And my favorite character to portray is probably the streamer boyfriend, because I can use my real world experience of streaming. My favorite game of all time is Black Ops 2, but my favorite current game is Lethal Company, which I play a lot with my friends. My next big goal is 10k, I guess. But hey, I'm just trying to take it one step at a time. Deity firstly wants to know how I prepare for my videos. I'm gonna let you all in on a secret. I raw dog the hell out of my recording sessions. I wake up, down a can of Monster, and record whatever script I've chosen while I'm still in my pajamas. And that is all the prep I have. They also want to know if I have any blooper videos coming out, and that is great timing to ask, because that's actually my next video, so keep an eye out for that. Finally, they wanted to know if I record my videos in one take, and the answer is yes. If I mess up a line, I just redo that line straight away, and then keep going through the script from start to finish until it's done. Or I pass out, whichever comes first. Luna Akira asked if I ever feel burned out, and yeah, I do sometimes. But the best way of avoiding it for me is to only record the scripts I want to record. It's important to do the things you enjoy and put yourself first, especially on YouTube. They also wanted to know my favourite audio, and that is such a tough question. But I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be the ASMR game show roleplay. It was my first script that I'd written and recorded for myself, and it was so relaxing. It didn't get many views, but it's a guaranteed night's sleep if you do watch it. Mercurius has asked me what motivates me to keep going. Honestly, it's the hope that I'm helping others. The dream is to help people sleep at night, so if my audios can help even one person get some rest on an evening, then that pushes me to keep going. Nerdy Goth asked, clones? Ooh, a clone of myself. Berry has asked me what my favorite cat breed is. You know, I have to say the tabby cat. I used to have one, and he was the sweetest little thing. Berry also asked what my favorite trope to record is. I reckon strangers to lovers. There's just something about love at first sight that is really romantic to me. Curleen also wants to know one of my favorite audios, so I'll give you another answer. I had a lot of fun recording the April Fool's video, where I had a really bad American accent for the character of Dwayne NASCAR Brady. My favorite script I've written is the livestream date. It was super fun making the character constantly interacting with a made-up chat. And I listened to a lot of electronic music. My most listened to songs last month were Page of You by Nightlight and Hatsune Miku, and the other one was Rory in Early 20s, 12 to 14. And finally, shh, no one say a word to the IRS. Shh. And now for my YouTube comments. Nightingale asked if I like anime and what my favorite is. Well, I most recently watched Death Note for the first time, and I really quite liked it. But my favorite is probably Kaguya-sama Lover's War. It's a really good comedy rom-com thing if you haven't seen it, especially the English dub. They also asked what my favorite ice cream is. I'd have to say salted caramel. Curiosity asked me a whopping 7 questions. Do you want to be a professional voice actor in movies? Hopefully one day. It's a dream, but it's not one I'm chasing just yet. I'm focused quite heavily on YouTube at the moment. They asked how old I am. I'm 23 years old. What country do you live in? The British accent is not an act. I am, in fact, from the UK, born and bred. My hobbies are mainly gaming with friends and watching football, or soccer as most of you might call it. My job is that I do voice acting and YouTube and all of this full time. If we do my favourite trope to listen to, then it's friends to lovers. And finally, the one thing that I wish my listeners knew about my production process is that having neighbours is the worst thing that can ever happen to a voice actor. Trust me, ask any VA or ASM artist that you know. They all despise their noisy neighbours and their annoying yappy dogs. Dore MCC asked what my goals for the channel are. The main thing for me is to help people sleep. It's like giving people a power I wish I had. My favourite to record was the Flirty Cupid. He was so, energetic and something very different than what I normally do. My least favourite was it was a bully on the beach. The audio itself turned out great, but I had loads of tech problems and the neighbour's dogs barking and my stomach was growling and just loads of messed up lines that I had to edit out. And after all of that nightmare, there's still an editing mistake at the end of the video, which you could watch and find for yourself. It was a nightmare. Lastly, they asked if there's a type of audio I've wanted to do but haven't been able to do. You know, I actually spent about 8 months looking for a good bartender script and finally found a good one created by Sunny that I got to record a couple of weeks ago. And it was such a relief to finally find one and record it. Noah asked what inspired me to start making audios. I think it was just ASMR in general. It helped me to sleep at night, and I thought to myself, damn, I bet that must be such a great feeling. I want to pass on that wholesomeness to other people. And that really comes on to what my favorite part of making audios is. It's seeing the wholesome messages and comments from people on how my video helped them sleep at night, or gave them comfort, or offered them company. It really doesn't get better than my community and comment section. Now, my least favorite part is redoing lines when it's not my fault. If I mess up, it's chill, whatever. But when there's someone that decides it's a great idea to mow their lawn at 9 AM on a Wednesday, I lose my mind. Megan has asked me 4 questions. Firstly, who inspired me to do ASMR? Well, the first person I ever listened to was GB ASMR. I found out I liked hearing whispering through Billie Eilish's song Bad Guy, and I wanted to hear a full whispered version of the song. GB had done exactly that, in fact a whole album, and it all kind of spiraled into me eventually making my own videos from there. Let's see, another audio that I had a good time recording. For me, I'd say the first NAP video, the one where the police arrest you for being too sleepy at night. It was such a fun concept to write and record, and I really loved being that character too. If I had to choose one theme that I'd be forced to do for 2 weeks, I'd probably do enemies to lovers. There's loads of variety in what kind of enemy you can have, from bullies to supervillains. I think I could keep it fresh and fun. Other than what I mentioned earlier, I honestly don't have much free time. I spend a lot of it editing and recording videos for this channel, and the gaming channel. O Junior asked if I like reading and what film adaptations I'd recommend. You know, I actually haven't read a book since school. They made me read the original Frankenstein, and I hated it so much that it put me off reading for life. Sorry, Mary Shelley. But adaptations I like most are probably The Hunger Games and Lord of the Rings. I read both of those and they made some good movies out of them too. KP asked what my favourite season is, and for me it's just started. It's autumn. or as many of you might call it, fall. Honestly, no better time of the year. They also asked me if I've ever had a moment that reminded me of one of my videos, and it's actually kind of the other way around. I posted an audio a while ago about you, listener, getting on a train that breaks down and gets stuck, but you're sitting next to someone who's really flirty. I was on a broken down train in real life, and the person next to me accidentally fell asleep on me, and I just let them. And that inspired me to write that audio. Okay, some quickfire questions. Still or sparkling water? Still. Tea or coffee? Coffee. Sorry, fellow British people. Cozy night in or partying? Cozy night in every single time. I've never gotten flowers from someone, and I would rather be a shape-shifting dragon over the magical unicorn. Shape-shifting's overpowered. You can be anything ever, like a teleporting dragon. Bang, easy. Or I could even shapeshift into the magical unicorn. Checkmate. Midnight Dragon asked a few questions. Firstly, they wanted to know one thing that I'm proud of. If you didn't see my Twitter post the other day, I recently hit 3 months straight of working out, and I've lost a stone in that time, so I'm super proud of myself for that. I've been working really hard. Next, they want to know if I have any phobias. Other than a 10 out of 10 on YouTube, I really hate spiders. I don't think it's a phobia, I just don't like them. They also want to know if I'd like to learn any skills, and I wish I was better at learning languages. Hablo un poco español, pero soy malo. I wish I could speak Spanish a lot better than I can. I think I said something wrong there. If I was forced to get a tattoo today, I'd probably get something wolf-related on my arm or chest. It's the team I support, and I also just generally love wolves. One piece of advice to my younger self, and anyone out there, is to always just keep fighting and don't give up when you take a hit. And lastly, they asked for my favorite thing about myself. I'd have to say my eyes. The grey eyes of my character are actually true to real life, and if I do say so myself, they're really nice. Shosho Hadra wanted to know if I have any tattoos or piercings, and currently no, but I wouldn't mind a tattoo someday, if it suits me. As for where I'm from, it is indeed Britain. And lastly, they wanted to know how tall I am. I am 5 foot and 11 inches. Those are not two separate measurements. And finally, Damien wanted to know if there's anything I do to get into character. And honestly, pressing the record button has conditioned me into being in character. I also drag my microphone down into its ASMR position, rather than its gaming recording position. And for some reason that helps me lock in. Other than that, I just imagine the character in my head and what voice I think they'd have and send it from there. Whew. And that is every question that you guys have asked. Thank you so much for all your questions, and thank you again for 5k subs. That number is probably like 5,200-ish by the time this comes out, so thank you all for the support. I really, really appreciate it. Lots of love, and good night.